Hello friends, my name is Emile, and welcome to the final episode of the Forza Top Gear Lap Season 4, and indeed the final episode here on Forza Motorsport 6. What better way to end it off than with taking a look at the best of the rest, and there is certainly a lot of good cars in the rest, such as, in my opinion, possibly the best car in this game. The Koenigsegg 1-to-1, 1,341 horsepower, 1,010 foot-pound torque, 2,998 pounds of weight. Most powerful car on this list, most torquey car here today. Yeah, I think it's actually the most powerful car from stock in this game as well, although I need some clarification on that one, and in fact torque-wise as well. Yeah. What more is there for me to really say about the 1-to-1? I did a review on this, I did first driving reactions to it, I absolutely adored this thing when it came out in December 2016, and I still do. Probably my favourite hypercar of all time, and I don't see it ever being beaten, to be perfectly honest, because it is an absolutely mega machine. As far as its driving abilities are concerned, it is mind-blowingly fast. I believe it does 0 to 250 miles an hour in about 20 seconds. Yeah, it's legitimately ridiculously fast, and you do actually have to be careful with it. Yeah, you do have to be quite careful. You have to keep an eye on your brakes, because the brakes don't feel as good because the car's always travelling that fast. It does feel kind of heavy, which is a little bit strange, although that might be just more compared to the next two cars. But yeah, it's still an absolutely mega experience to drive that car. Next up, we have the McLaren P1 GTR, 986 horsepower, 738 foot-pound of torque, 3,186 pounds of weight. Now, I did say for the most part it's only road legal cars around that are allowed around this course. That's weird to say for some reason. But I guess I'll make an exception on the P1 GTR and what comes after it, because they're kind of just sort of more track-orientated versions of already track-orientated hypercars, so yeah. I thought I'd let them on the track either way. It's the final episode, may as well. Yeah, the P1 GTR, a rather good-looking car, if you ask me. I'm not really a fan of the P1 styling per se. It's still, I've mentioned this several times with the P1. P1's kind of a hard car to look at for me, although it's still probably my favourite of the sort of the free hybrid hypercars. This really does improve things though. I love the sort of the body kit they've put on it, and the yellow and green paint job really finish it off. Driving wise, P1 GTR, it's okay. What's really surprised me about this car, it's very understeery. Now, admittedly, that is quite good in the sense that it doesn't have any other issues. Like, you can floor this thing in pretty much any gear and you'll have traction and it's great. It's just very understeery, which you wouldn't really expect. And you could sort of see why McLaren might have made it a little bit understeery when you take a look at our next car. This is the Ferrari FXXK. 1,036 horsepower, 664 foot-pound of torque, 2,831 pounds of weight. The lightest car here today. And one of the most mental looking as well, probably the most mental looking car today. The P1 GTR looks very, very good and futuristic. This is something else. It is basically a Stormtrooper's helmet on wheels. There's a couple of styling tweaks I don't like, as in the wing looks very odd to me, but yeah, the FXXK is a rather awesome vehicle. Now, the reason I say it might be the reason for the P1 GTR's understeer is because the P1 GTR, while it does have understeer, it's actually a very easy car to push, and because it understeers its only real bad handling trait, you can get used to that pretty simply, and there you go. The FXXK handles a lot more directly. It is extraordinarily quick. It runs rings around the P1 GTR through the corners. However, it takes no prisoners. The P1 GTR is a much easier car to drive than this one. You really have to be careful with the FXXK. It's very easy to go slower in the FXXK than the P1 GTR because you need to focus so much on your throttling position and so on. It's an absolutely mental car to drive though. Next up, speaking of mental, we have the Lexus LFA, changing gears quite a bit. 552 horsepower, 354 pounds-foot of torque, 3,263 pounds of weight. The LFA, of course, one of the most legendary cars of all time, to be honest with you. You know, this car's been around for, oh god, about 7 years or so, and we're still talking about it, and there's very good reasons for that. It has possibly the most extraordinary engine of all time, of extremely high revving, well revving V10 that's just super reactive, super responsive, makes an absolutely orgasmic noise. It's a Lexus, and you wouldn't expect this from Lexus, would you? As far as its driving, it's actually really very, very decent. It's actually quite a neutral driving car. And I've said that before on this show. Basically, neutral driving cars, for those of you who don't know, it's a car which sort of, it doesn't really understeer, doesn't really oversteer, it just sort of handles quite naturally, it's very easy to get into a groove with. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I would personally like a bit more rear end downforce. But the actual, like, the driving abilities, it's very easy to get on with this car. It handles just as you expect it to. And the LFA, yeah, a pretty extraordinary car. It is extremely expensive. I think it's like 500,000 credits or something. But it is still an incredible drive, nonetheless. Next up, once again, taking quite a switch from gears, from mega cars to supercars to, well, saloon cars. We have the Audi S3 Saloon, 300 horsepower, 280 pound-foot of torque, 3,153 pounds of weight. It is the least torquey vehicle here today. The S3 Saloon is actually a car I really like. I'm really not an Audi fan. I think most people know this, you know, cars like the TT don't interest me. The Audi R8 really doesn't interest me. But for whatever reason, Audi's little S3 Saloon and the A3 Saloon, I really like them. I don't know why. And I love the RS4 Avant as well. But yeah, the S3 Saloon, I don't know what it is about this car. I just really like the look of it. It is basically a mini Audi A4, but for whatever reason, I do really like it. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. As far as the S3's driving experience goes, it is very understeery. It is essentially the McLaren P1 GTR of the saloon market, I guess. If you're talking like mini saloons and also discount all of the speed from the P1 GTR. Yeah, it understeers, it is very secure handling, quite easy to get used to really. But even still, you do have to keep a little bit of an eye on it, because it does understeer way more than you'd expect it to. Way more than it honestly has any right to. But, you know, overall the S3 Saloon, it's a pretty decent car. And I mean, just look at it. It does look kind of cool, you got to admit. It's quite a duty little car. Although, over an S3 Saloon, personally, I would be buying this, the Volvo S60 Polestar, 345 horsepower, 369 pound-foot of torque, 3,684 pounds of weight. It is the heaviest vehicle here today. I actually reviewed the S60 Polestar, much like the Koenigsegg 1-to-1, when this car sort of first came around, and yeah, I really like the S60 Polestar. It is another one of Volvo's attempts to sort of go after sort of the high-end BMW 3 Series, high-end Mercedes C-classes, and well, the S60R may have missed the mark a little bit. I think, personally for me, with the S60 Polestar, they got it spot on. I think it looks much better than any BMW or Audi or Mercedes you can throw at it, and I think it drives better as well. It is a little bit on the understeery side, but as an overall car, it is pretty lovely to drive. Really very, very secure car to drive. Is an M3 more fun? It can be, yes. You know, is a Mercedes C-Class more fun? Possibly, but I mean, as far as security goes in its driving, they can't match this. This car feels so planted, it feels much more mature, and it feels much more my style of car. I do like cars that are sort of planted, and you know where they are, you know what they're doing, and the S60 Polestar is that. It is very predictable. Is it fun? It can be. But I mean, it's not quite as fun as, say, an M3 maybe, but you know, at the end of the day, it is exactly what you'd want from a car that you're going to go vigorously driving in, predictable. And finally today, well, we had to end off with this, didn't we? It is the Subaru Impreza WRX STI. This particular model is a 2005 model, also known as the Hawkeye. 295 horsepower, 311 pound-foot of torque, 3,315 pounds of weight. It is the least powerful vehicle here today, although honestly it really is not the least powerful by much at all. In fact, it's only got 5 horsepower less than the Audi S3, so there you go. Yeah, the WRX STI, of course we had to end off on this. If you don't know, I actually own a Hawkeye Subaru, and I'm a huge fan of these things, and it's very weird driving this car, actually looking around the interior, and it's almost the same as mine, which it's kind of odd, but there you go. Yeah, I personally, I mean, I'm always going to be a Bug-Eye fan. The Bug-Eye is where my heart's at, but the Hawkeye is a very, very close second on my roster. And as far as the Hawkeye drives, it is very much a typical WRX, and we've had many of these go around the course. They are a little bit on the understeery side, but they're huge fun to drive. A bit soft on the suspension, but that can actually help it out in some cases. You know, they're a little bit understeery, they're pretty darn quick. They're just fun, nice, easy cars to drive, and if you sort of want a car to start off racing with in this game, or in any game for that matter, you know, you really can never really go wrong with a Subaru Impreza, and that's why it finishes off this season. On to the actual times then, and we have a new leader. The Ferrari FXXK set to an astonishingly good lap time of a 1:12.502, pushing our previous leader, the Lamborghini Veneno, into second place. The Koenigsegg 1-1 goes into third with a 1:14.523, and just behind it is the McLaren P1 GTR, that set a time of a 1:14.604. As I said, when you're on with it with that FXXK, it is astonishingly quick. The P1 GTR can't keep up, but for my money, if you're going to choose between the FXXK and the P1 GTR, I'd probably go for the P1, although, I mean, I'd just go for the Koenigsegg, to be perfectly honest with you. Moving down the board some more, the Lexus LFA goes into 55th place with 1:22.664, splitting up the two Stradalis, the Alfa Romeo 33 and Ferrari 360 respectively. Pretty decent time for the LFA, beats the Shelby GT 350R, Camaro Z28, losing out slightly to a Nissan GTR. Moving down some more, we find the Audi S3 Saloon in 122nd place with 1:28.501, beating an R32 Skyline, R33 Skyline. A pretty good showing for the S3. And the Impreza WRX 05 goes into 124th place, being the fastest Impreza we've had. A 1:28.686, pushing the Chevrolet Supersport Skyline R33 and 2015 WRX down a bit. Yeah, the ultimate WRX, I guess, if you ask me personally. And finally today, the final car to go onto the leaderboard is the Volvo S60 Polestar. That goes to 135th with a 1:29.103, marginally beating an Evo 8 MR, faster than an M3 E36, BMW 6M, losing out slightly to an Audi RS3 Sportback. Anyways, yes, as I mentioned, friends, that is it for this season of the Forza Top Gear Laps. I do appreciate it's been very off and on, and I want to thank you all very, very much for sticking with me, whether this series has been going on or not. As for whether it's going to return in Forza Motorsport 7, I'm not 100% sure. A series like this will be returning, whether it'll be on the Top Gear track or not, though, I haven't decided yet. So, either way, friends, thank you all very much for watching. A full leaderboard video is going to be coming out very shortly, and until next time, friends, a farewell.